All right, Jonathan Heeter and Daniel Shirley here on the eve of the 2015 Masters. We're going to pick our guys that we think are going to be slipping on the green jacket come Sunday night. Now, we usually pick these in the paper. We're doing this a little differently this year, and usually we throw a bunch of names out. Now we're going to count them down, our top five, in order of least likely in this top five to win to the guy that you think is the most likely in your top five. And since you're older, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go.
You're cheating on my sheet.
No, I'm not looking at your sheet.
Okay.
I'm just taking these off my head. I'm going to go Tiger Woods. I really am going to think that he's going to be in the mix. I don't think he's going to win, obviously, or I would put him at number one. But I think he'll be in the mix on Sunday, somewhere in the last handful of groups to start the final round, and really add a jolt of energy to this tournament and be in the hunt. And he typically is in the hunt when he plays in this tournament.
You just put him in the list because in case he does contend, you just want to be like, I picked him.
No, I've said this on every radio show I've been on this week. I think he's going to be in the hunt.
All right, my number 5 is Victor Dubuisson. Why would you ask that? Well, because over the last 3 years, there's been a European that has kind of come under the radar European that's finished well. Last year, Jonas Blix tied for second. No one remembers that because they remember Bubble running away. And Thomas Bjorn was in the top 10. 2 years ago, Thorbjorn Olesen was in the top 10. The year before that, Peter Hansen was in the top 10. I think Dubuisson, he was a Ryder Cup guy last year. He's played well. I think he's the surprise Euro that sneaks into the top 5 this year.
Very good player. My number 4 pick is going to be Jimmy Walker. I think he's one of the top players in the world. He's ranked 10th in the world ranking. He gets overlooked quite a bit because he's not real flashy. He's not a big name. It's not like he was a guy that was this high-ranking amateur and was kind of groomed for this.
What'd you call him earlier today?
I called him Steve Stricker.
Yeah, you did.
This era's Steve Stricker. I forgot about that. But I think he'll be in the hunt. Again, I don't think he's going to win, or I'd have him ranked number 1. But I do think he's got a chance to be in the mix throughout the whole week.
My number 4 is Jimmy Walker.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 wins this year.
Yep.
Had 2 other top 4s, a total of 5 top 10s this year. 5 wins since the start of the 2013-14 season. He's a late bloomer, and he tied for 8th last year here in his only Masters. I think he's a guy that is starting to hit his stride and could be a real threat.
My 3rd pick is I'm going to go third. The player who's the favorite in this tournament, who everybody, a lot of people think is going to win, is Rory McIlroy. He's obviously going for history this week, trying to win the career Grand Slam. He'd be the 6th player to do that. Sorry. And he would be the 3rd player to win 3 straight Grand Slams and joining Tiger Woods and Ben Hogan. So he's got a lot on his plate this week. He's only had 1 top 10 finish in his career at the Masters. He's only been here a few times in his career. But I think, again, he'll be right there. I know everybody is picking him this week. I just don't think he's going to get it done this week.
It's a pretty good pick. Man, can you imagine if he wins here? And then the hype that'll be when he goes out to Washington, Chambers Bay, for the possible, I guess what you'd call. I mean, this is, I guess, a Rory Slam, but the real, we called it the Tiger Slam when he had all 4 at once.
Right.
But to be able to go for holding all 4 at once. My number 3 is Jason Day. He's obviously played really well here.
Very good pick.
Has a 2nd, has a 3rd. He's won this year. I just think he's a very solid player and a guy who's young and is going to contend here for a long time.
I've picked Jason Day a lot of times in the last few years to win a major. He's never quite gotten over the hump, but that is a really good pick. I'm going to go with my number 2 pick, and we were kind of talking about him tonight. I'm going to go Ricky Fowler. He finished very high last year, every major. I think we saw the maturation of Ricky Fowler last year when maybe before he wasn't as committed to winning. I think he wanted to be good and he wanted to have the name and he wanted attention, but it wasn't, I'm going to put in the work to be great. And I think last year we saw him put in the work to be great. It came up just a little bit short in every major last year. I think he's going to come up just a little bit short again this year.
Yeah, Butch Harmon's done wonders for him. My number 2 is Roy McIlroy. When he turns it on, there's no one else in the game right now that can keep up with him. And he's as close to having that Tiger switch as anyone over the last, 25, 30 years. I watched what he did to Congressional in person, and it was quite the sight to see. He's now almost 4 years more mature, 4 years more mature from that, and I think he's going to be a real threat. Now, our number one pick, I think it's going to be the same person because you haven't mentioned Jordan Spieth.
I have not.
And I haven't mentioned Jordan Spieth.
And
so I can't imagine either of us would not have him in his top 5. He's my number one. He's your number one?
Yeah, he's my number one.
Tell me why you think he's going to win.
I just think that we saw him last year. His first appearance in the Masters finished tied for second. We've seen him. I think we both think very highly of him. We've seen him throughout his career, young career, obviously, make a big splash early in his career. He's playing great right now. He's already won a couple of times this year. One of those was the Hero World Challenge, which you don't think is a real event.
It's not.
It's not a full field event.
Anyway, go ahead.
It's on the schedule. But I do think that he's playing great right now. He's won recently. He's finished in the top 5 the last
He's finished in the
couple
top
of times.
2 the last 3 tournaments.
So I think he's got a real chance to do something special this week. He just, we were kind of talking about it the other day, he doesn't hit it the farthest. He doesn't have the greatest short game ever, but he does everything really, really well. There just seems to be no flaws in his game right now.
Well, I'll tell you what he does do really, really well. He is maybe the best putter from 15 to 20 feet in the world right now. If I had a guy with the putter in his hands with the chance to win the Masters, I feel pretty good about his chance of making a big putt. I mean, that tournament down in Tampa with him and Patrick Reed going after each other was pretty electric. I think he's everything we want in golf. We always want the guy. I mean, Tiger was the guy. You want the guy to just take over and be the dominant player. Everybody loves dynasties and wants to tune in to see what that guy's going to do. And this kid seems genuine. You know, every time you see him in interviews or you've been around him, he's very pleasant, respectful, cares about the history of the game of golf, and is one hell of a player. And I think he's going to be wearing that green jacket on Sunday night.